Wir haben es heute auf die PDAC 2016 geschafft, wo wir mit Bruce Durham von Nevada Zinc sprechen, einem sehr interessanten Unternehmen mit einem sehr interessanten Projekt und vielleicht auch im richtigen Metall. Aber dazu werden wir uns jetzt genauer informieren lassen. Bruce, nice to have you. Please give us a short background about yourself, your track record and what you've been doing so far.
Thanks, Bjorn. My name is Bruce Durham. I'm a geologist. I've worked mostly in the exploration industry for almost 40 years now, mostly on the junior side. I've been involved as everything from a project geologist up to president and CEO of a number of different companies over the years. I've been involved in the early days of Hemlo. We found 2 of the 3 mines in the Hemlo region, which has now produced or has resources of in excess of 20 million ounces of gold. We put together a lot of the land that's now part of Lakeshore Gold, which is now being taken over by Torex. We did some of the original staking, a lot of geological theory ideas that have come to pass and are now very good producers in the Timmins region. We also did a company called Canadian Royalties, which we started from scratch, from inception through to actually starting to build a mine up in the northern tip of Quebec, which is now Quebec's newest nickel mine, and the Chinese entity that took us over has spent about $1 billion putting that mine into production. So that's what I like doing, is the hunt part. We like to go and find really good projects, sometimes a little bit different, and then we like to go and try to do the best we can to build them into significant resources.
Okay, thank you. Now, Nevada Zinc, well, the name mostly says it all. You're in Nevada, you're looking for zinc. The project is the Lone Mountain-Projekt with a historical mine on it. Could you just give us a short overview what this project is about?
Sure. So the project came to us, I was speaking with some engineering guys who had actually said they had the property in 2007. They actually were doing mineral exploration for gold, weren't really looking for zinc, and when they drilled the first holes, they didn't assay for zinc, they only assayed for gold and silver. As it turned out, after the drill had left the property, they found out that they had actually stopped the first drill hole in high-grade zinc mineralization, and so then 2007, 2008 happened, they ended up losing title to the property, and the property was sitting there available. So we went in, thought we had a different interpretation. We thought it was maybe larger than just a vein, and so far it looks like we've been correct. It looks like, you know, we've drilled about 35 holes on the project now. Most of those have hit significant widths of mineralization. Typical intersections are anywhere from 10 to up to maybe 90 meters in thickness, so very thick intersections. The mineralization is a little bit different than normal. It's not sulfides, it's non-sulfide. So the minerals are a little different, takes a little different metallurgical approach. So we've stopped drilling for a while. We're going back, we're looking at how we're going to process this mineralization, and that's come along very well. So now that we're confident in that and we've acquired the old mine site, now we're ready to go back and start drilling again.
Okay, thank you. That would have been my next question. What are your plans for, let's say, for this year? Obviously more drilling, but are you planning to put out a resource anytime soon?
So we've drilled about 35 holes. When we acquired the adjacent property, which was the old historic zinc mine site, we actually inherited some old drill data that indicated that there's zinc mineralization across that entire property. So now that we've got a little bit of an indication there's mineralization there, now we need to go in and actually drill there. So we'll expand on that historical drilling, which was actually done in 1942, so it's a long, long time ago. So it doesn't meet modern standards. We'll go back in and do some more drilling there, and then we'll try to continue the mineralization from where we were across the old mine site. If we can get enough drilling done between now and latter part of this year, I think we'll be in a position to do a 43-101 resource estimate, maybe by the end of the year, certainly the first quarter of next year. At the same time, we'll be working on some mineralogy, some additional metallurgical test work. We're doing some dissolution testing. One of the ways to process this mineralization is just with weak sulfuric acid. So it's almost like a heap leach, only this would be for zinc mineralization. So we're going to work on a lot of those technical fronts as well. And that'll give us information then that could go into an eventual preliminary economic assessment.
Yes, thank you. Of course, a large part when building any mine is the price of the metal you're aiming to or you're looking for. Now, zinc has had some run-ups lately. but still is a far cry from the heights. So can you tell us a bit about the zinc market from your point of view, what you think will happen, and how you think it's going to develop?
So the one thing about, before I get to that, the one thing that's interesting about doing new projects is sometimes they're almost independent of the current mineral price. So we wouldn't be in production for a couple of years. What we think is going to happen is we think we're going to be low on the cost structure. That's our hope, and we're going to work hard at trying to show that with some additional metallurgy. On the zinc metal price front, we're a small company, so we don't have the resources to actually tackle where the zinc price is going to go. But I just got back from the Bank of Montreal conference, or the BMO conference in Florida, and had the occasion to talk to Don Lindsay and listen to their talk. And Teck are the world's third largest zinc producer. Their position is that the zinc market is going to get very, very tight going forward. They're seeing production in China fall off. They're seeing shortages of concentrate in China. And we've seen treatment charges drop in by more than 50% in the last several months. So that's an indication that there's starting to be a real shortage of zinc concentrate. So we think going forward, just to back up, I mean, what we've seen on the zinc side is there have been a number of large mine closures, Perseverance in Quebec, Brunswick in New Brunswick, Century was the third largest zinc mine in the world. So all of those are coming offline, and there's really nothing coming online to replace them. So what we've been doing is eating out of those inventories for some time, and they're starting to get down to critical levels, and will probably get quite critical later in the year.
Thank you. As you said, it's probably a couple of years before you might think about going into production. But what is that your game, your intention for this company? Are you planning to go into production yourself? Are you thinking about partnering up with a bigger company, or if you have a nice resource, then sell the company?
I would say those are all possibilities. Quite frankly, I think we need to get the next round of drilling done before we make that decision. I mean, it's always a trade-off study is basically what you're trying to do, and determine how much money do you have to raise, how much would that dilute your shareholders, what is the ultimate size of your project. We think that this project, we think the mineralization is open pitable. We think that if you can process it cheaply, then this is a project that can be built with well less than $100 million. So it's not like it's going to be one of these $500 million projects to build a mine. So from that perspective, it's within the range of possibility that a junior company could do it. At the same time, throughout my career, I've always found that once you get a project to a certain stage, if there's a willing buyer at a reasonable price, you're often better off to do that. So we'll make those decisions as we move along.
Okay. Thank you, and we'll certainly talk later on.
Okay, perfect. Thanks.